The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Thank you for joining us. I am Bill Knapik, your host, and today, a little bit different show as we're going to talk to people with the Howard Hughes Corporation, David Weekley Homes, and an organization called Home Aid, which is a nonprofit organization. And we're going to find out about what the September Fall Giving campaign is, and also about Howard Hughes Corporation, what they do, something called Howard Hughes Cares. So this show is about helping others and also about learning about the companies that I mentioned, and we're going to do that as Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title begins right now. Our guest is Heath Melton, Executive Vice President with the Howard Hughes Corporation right here in Houston, Texas, focusing on the master plan, the beautiful master plan communities brought to us by the Howard Hughes Corporation. Heath, welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, Bill. Very happy to be here. Thank you for having us.
Well, let's talk about an overview of your company, the Howard Hughes Corporation, first.
Yeah, so at Howard Hughes, we develop premier master plan communities and commercial properties from what we say Wall Street to Waikiki. We have the Seaport District out in New York, all the way to Ward Village in Waikiki, Hawaii. We also have 3 of our master plan communities here in the Houston market, which I have the pleasure of overseeing from a residential standpoint, that being the Woodlands, 47 years in creation, Bridgeland down in the Cypress market, and the Woodlands Hills up in the Conroe Willis market.
Well, certainly as you paint that picture of the scope from coast to coast and even beyond to the beautiful state of Hawaii, but here in Houston, also the communities that you mentioned are on fire. Let's give people an idea, if they're not familiar with Bridgeland, which is just very popular these days, and the other communities.
Start with the Woodlands. The Woodlands is one of the first master plan communities in the nation. For the Woodlands, we're in our 47th year of creation in the Woodlands, and we're kind of nearing the end of the runway with build out from a residential standpoint, but still have several acres to go for commercial. Here in Bridgeland, it's a 11,400 acre master plan community. We're in our 14th year, doing extremely well. We're currently the number 1 selling master plan community in Houston, number 1 in Texas, and just achieved the rank of number 10 in the nation. So really excited about where Bridgeland's at today and what the future looks like for Bridgeland as we continue to build out that community. And then our newest community up in the Conroe Willis area is the Woodlands Hills. We're in our 2nd year of home sales up in the Woodlands Hills. It's a little over 2,000 acre master plan community. And really excited about what the future has for the Woodlands Hills as we're just getting that one relatively kicked off.
Well, let's talk about Bridgeland just for a second. It is so popular. You have been there quite a while. What is it that is attracting people, let's say, to the Bridgeland community?
Yeah, Bridgeland is really situated in the beautiful area of Cypress, Texas, just located off of 290 and really the Grand Parkway, if you're familiar with that area. Our home sales are up 30% year over year from the previous year. And that we sold 742 homes last year. So you can just imagine the volume of home sales that we're doing this year. You know, things that really attract people to Bridgeland. One is just, you hear it all the time in real estate, location, location, location. We're in one of the top school districts in the Cy-Fair or in the Houston area, and that's the Cy-Fair ISD school district, which is one of the top ranking school districts. We've been in the path of growth, heading kind of northwest off of 290, and the addition of the Grand Parkway really opens up connectivity to the energy corridor off of I-10 all the way up to the Woodlands with all the growth that's happened up in that commercial space. And then from a price point standpoint, we really offer the gamut. We have homes priced from the 200s all the way up to a million plus. So a really nice offering. One thing that we do that's very unique in all of our communities is we like to offer green space and amenities that really comprise about 30% of our total land that we dedicate. So we'll dedicate about 30% to lakes, parks, and open space that really allows our residents to get out and enjoy the outdoors. That really resonated with consumers, obviously, given our current situation in this pandemic with COVID-19, as they felt kind of they had to work from home. They felt the walls kind of closed in on them a little bit. And in a master plan community like Bridgeland, they got the opportunity to get out and walk on miles and miles of trails, explore the lakes and explore nature, and really had that opportunity to fully get immersed with nature and just enjoy their surroundings.
Well, certainly the role of amenities and the beautiful spaces, trees, and water features are so important. Your communities have them and have been done in a tremendous way.
No, absolutely. We like to focus on just making sure that we really create an environment for our residents to enjoy. And you often hear us say when we think about our residents, we don't just think about those that reside within the homes. We think about all of nature's creatures and how do we create this ecosystem and habitat where they can really live together in harmony. And that's what we focus on. We have, detention lakes to really handle all the stormwater. And I'd like to say not a single home flooded in Bridgeland during Hurricane Harvey, which a lot of communities can't say, but that goes to our in-depth planning and working with our consultants to make that happen. But we also turn all that green space into recreational components. The lake systems allow our residents to go out and fish or use kayaks and canoes and explore the water. We also plant all of our lake edges and within the water with aquatic plants. And so that creates that ecosystem below the surface of the water and above the surface of the water, where it really attracts nature. One of the favorite things our residents like to do here in Bridgeland is bird watch. And they wouldn't be able to do that if we didn't create that habitat for birds to come and take refuge on our lakes.
And when we think about real estate, location is a big thing, but also the lifestyle, and the lifestyle that people are able to enjoy at your communities is really incredible. In fact, I'll say they're award-winning because they actually are, right?
Oh, no, absolutely. We've received a lot of awards for everything that we do, whether it be the Woodlands, Bridgeland, or the Woodlands Hills. We've been recognized for how we approach our amenities and providing that level of parks and open space to our residents. We've had some new additions here in Bridgeland in our newest village called Parkland Village. We have Dragonfly Park, which is a 25-acre site adjacent to a 25-acre lake. We have a fitness center, events hall. Within the pool complex itself, there's a fitness pool, a lazy river, and a resort-style pool. So just endless amenities for our residents that they get to enjoy and really get out to enjoy each other's company and get to know one another. One thing that we pride ourselves on here at Howard Hughes is being creators of culture. And one way that we do that is through placemaking, whether that be at the retail centers that we develop, or whether that's at the amenity centers and the amenities that we provide our residents to really get to enjoy lives and meet their neighbors and really get to know one another. And that to us is the true creation of a community.
And we're talking with Heath Melton, Executive Vice President of the Master Plan Community Residential portion of the Howard Hughes Corporation. Heath, also, we're going to be talking later in the show about the Fall Giving Campaign. For right now, let's tell people what that is and what you're doing a little bit for the Fall Giving Campaign.
Yeah, going back to one of our core values at Howard Hughes, and that's, building for the future and being creators of culture. And one way that we like to do that is to fully get immersed in the community and really become part of the fabric of the community. And we do that through volunteerism and charitable contributions. So the Fall Giving Campaign is one of those ways that we're doing that. So for every home that is bought either in Bridgeland or the Woodlands Hills, the Howard Hughes Corporation is going to make a $500 donation for every home that sells. And we allow the home buyer to pick from 5 different charitable organizations that they can dedicate those funds to. So Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, Houston Home Aid, we have the Cypher Education Foundation, Yes to Youth, or just some of those organizations that they can select to donate those funds to. So we're really excited about it. Again, it's a way for us to impact the greater community. We've also partnered with all of our home builders. All of our home builders are also donating funds that they'll give towards the Fall Giving Campaign, as well as some of our other contractors that we work with. So again, just really excited about the Fall Giving Campaign and how we can make a difference and impact the greater community in a meaningful way. The entire month of September, every house that sells will donate $500.
Give us a word on supply. Every time we talk to someone on this show realtors, mortgage people alike, there's a supply problem. And in fact, the national news is aware of this as well. Give us an idea of the supply in your communities right now.
Yeah, from a supply standpoint, we've been blessed from the standpoint of having home sales be up 30% year over year in Bridgeland and 61% year over year in the Woodlands Hills. So we're blessed with that, having that high absorptions that we've experienced this year. Obviously, that does put some constraints on supplies if you weren't anticipating those volumes of sales. As far as from a land development standpoint, putting lots on the ground for new home construction, there's a slight constraint, but nothing that is too worrisome for us. We have kind of been out in front of that and make sure that we're planning for the future. From a resale standpoint, we do know that there's from resale homes, and if you talk to a lot of realtors in the area, that supply is down about 20% year over year from the previous year. So obviously that puts a little stress on the supply and demand as we see the demand starting to pick up, especially in light of COVID-19, as people looked more for single family dwellings, especially in the suburbs, to get away from those higher density areas. And again, the ability to spread their wings and not feel so enclosed in tight spaces. Also, interest rates are an all-time low, so that's getting a lot of people off the fence and wanting them to get out and buy houses where they can capture that value. And then lastly, I'd say millennials have come to an age to where they're finding family dynamics have vastly changed. They're getting married, they're having children, and they also want to move into larger home sites in some of the best school districts. So that's pushed a lot of those folks out to master plan communities like the ones that we own and operate. So really excited about where the communities are at today. We think that'll continue throughout the rest of this year and still look favorable in 2021.
It sounds great.
For everybody out there, come out and visit Bridgeland, again, in the Cypress Market, the Woodlands, up in the Woodlands Market, or the Woodlands Hills in the Conroe Willis Market. For more information about Howard Hughes, go to www.howardhughes.com. You can click on properties and look at all the properties that we have to offer nationwide, but specifically here in the Houston market, again, as a reminder, Bridgeland and Cypress, the Woodlands up in the Woodlands area, and the Woodlands Hills in Conroe and Willis.
Sounds awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, Heath Melton with the Howard Hughes Corporation. Heath, thanks for being on the show.
Hey, Bill, greatly appreciate it. Happy to come back anytime you guys want to talk.
And now, with the Howard Hughes Corporation, we're going to talk to Lori Parise, back on the show from a few months ago. She's the Director of PR and Community Relations. Lori, welcome back.
Thank you so much, Bill.
Well, now we have even more to talk about. It seems like you're on about a month and a half ago or so. People love the Howard Hughes Corporation. And let's tell people, first of all, your corporate office is?
Our corporate office is actually relocating to the Woodlands.
So there you go. That is just a tremendous spot, and also a very, very active real estate market. But one of the things, like a lot of corporations, and maybe not all, but the Howard Hughes Company, you have something called Howard Hughes Cares, Howard Hughes Corporation Cares. So let's tell people, first of all, what that is, and we're going to get into a specific initiative that you're doing.
Yes, great. Thank you. So it's called HH Cares, which, like you said, it stands for the Howard Hughes Corporation Cares, and we strongly believe in that. We're an active philanthropist, and we donate annually to about 130 causes through nonprofit organizations in and around Bridgeland, the Woodlands, and the Woodlands Hills. And of course, we also donate to other nonprofit organizations where many of our offices are located. We give our full-time employees 24 work hours every year to volunteer in the local community. And right now in our Houston offices, we have employees that serve on nearly 80 boards and committees.
Well, we've heard Heath talk about the Fall Giving Campaign, which is in effect right now. But let's tell people the Fall Giving Campaign, as far as the participants. Let's get into a little bit of who they are. And I think there's, 5 of them?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, we're really excited about this Fall Giving Campaign. It actually runs in September. And what we do is for every home sold in Bridgeland and the Woodlands Hills, the Howard Hughes Corporation donates $500 to charitable organizations. And you mentioned there are 5 of them. Yes. Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, Yes to Youth, Homemade Houston, Montgomery County Food Bank, and Cy-Fair Educational Foundation.
So how were these participants selected, by the way, or give us a little idea of that?
Yes, of course, we go by different organizations, and of course there's so many worthwhile organizations, but for example, like leukemia and lymphoma, we wanted to do some health care, and that provides research for blood cancer cures and improves quality of life for their patients and affected families. Yes to Youth really concentrates on the youth, and that provides Montgomery County youth with crisis counseling, shelter programs, and prevention services. In Homemade Houston, that's more like for the homeless. And that's a charity sponsored by the Greater Houston Builders Association. And what it does, it identifies long-term stable homeless people, and they pair them with like builders, vendors, suppliers to provide homeless shelters. Then we have Montgomery County Food Bank, and that's where you concentrate more on food. And it actually helps, it unites a community to fight hunger. And they provide like about 11 million nutritional meals through a network of 70 pantry partners. And then, of course, we hit education, and that raises funds to increase college access for graduates and support for Cy-Fair ISD. So we hit different areas.
Well, you're certainly covering a lot of basis. And as we think about the fall giving campaign for the month of September, also going back to Howard Hughes Cares, that initiative within your company, it goes on all year long. Would that be correct?
That is correct. You know, we picked several different charities. We really hit a lot of the pillars that I had mentioned, you know, the education, the arts, the economic development, the community organizations. These are so important to us. And Howard Hughes offers to quality home builders in our award-winning communities. And HH Cares is just a way that we can give back. It builds community pride, and we're really proud of our philanthropy.
I'd be curious, I don't know that I know the answer to this, but does this reflect going back to Howard Hughes himself? Did he have that element? I don't know a lot of his history, but did he have the element where he gave back with his companies back when he was active?
Yes, he did, and also he was very creative and forward-thinking, and that's how the Howard Hughes Corporation is itself. It is committed to the excellence and the execution of excellence. It's very creative, and this is a way that we can really show our pride and be a community leader.
And that's awesome that is still carried on. And, of course, there are many years ahead. Give us an idea of some of the other things that you're doing there, Lori, as directing the PR. And certainly this goes right to your title, Community Relations, relating to the community in very helpful ways with all these initiatives.
Yes, we have, especially during this pandemic time, some of our focuses have been feeding the frontline employees. We have delivered meals to some of the local hospitals here, including Memorial Hermann, St. Luke's, HCA Healthcare in Conroe, and we continue to try to reach out and help in those efforts. Ourselves, we have also donated to Montgomery County Food Bank, the Meals on Wheels, just to name a few. And one of the more exciting ones is we've helped Children's Books on Wheels recently with a book drive for children, as well as a donation. And that way we can help the less fortunate children, especially who don't have access to maybe getting the reading lists they need for school, or some donations to help get computers into their organization, the Children's Books on Wheels. So those are just a few to name.
Well, when we think about, when you're mentioning books, I go back to that phrase that I used with my own son when he was little. I said, leaders are readers. And I said that in a world that's unlike the world today, where the technology was not so enhanced. So sometimes we have to go back to actually reading a book, not on the iPad, but actually a real book that we hold in our hands. I think that's good for children and adults alike, just throwing that in. So
absolutely.
When we think about, here we are at the end of the year, the fall giving campaign, that's going to be so awesome here as what you're doing to help. But also, a corporation like the Howard Hughes Corporation, we're still at the end of the year, coming into the last quarter. As far as planning for what's going to happen next year, give us a little insight, if you would, Lori. Certainly, I'm going to guess that you're already thinking about what you're going to be doing in the PR and community relations in 2021.
Yes. So we have been working on that. And again, we still are going to be committed to about 130 causes of the nonprofit organizations in Bridgeland, the Woodlands Hills, and the Woodlands. We are planning really to hit the different types of organizations as well as these organizations. An area maybe that we will extend on is our scholarship programs. We were proud and excited to give about 14 scholarships. We will continue to do that next year. And we're really going to do an effort, especially at the college level, to focus on students that really need the funds.
And also, let's just remind people again, if they're tuning in late to the segment, we're talking to Lori Parise, Director of PR and Community Relations with the Howard Hughes Corporation. Lori, the Fall Giving campaign that is in effect right now, let's tell people what happens when they buy a home in one of the developments.
When you buy a home in one of the Bridgeland or the Woodlands Hills, one of our master plan communities, $500 Howard Hughes will donate to a charity of your choice. There's 5 selections: Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, Yes to Youth, Homemade Houston, Montgomery County Food Bank, Cy-Fair Educational Foundation. You can select the charity you want, and we will donate $500. I will say we have had participants also adding to this donation. We have many of our builders, I believe all of them that are participating in our promotion will be making a contribution as well as some of our realtor friends. So we're very excited about that, and we hope to raise a lot of money for these charities who really need the money.
And simply put, I buy a home, for example, in Bridgeland, I get to choose where that $500 goes, right?
That is correct. And we'd love to have you there.
There you go.
If you want to find out more information, go to bridgeland.com or thewoodlandshills.com. The Woodlands Hills is about 13 miles north of the Woodlands, and Bridgeland is located in Cy-Fair in Cypress, Texas. So either one of those, please look and search for information.
And if you're listening outside of the Houston or Texas area, that's pretty much look at Houston as the center of the downtown. We're talking about north of Houston and northwest of Houston. Lori Parise, great to talk with you again. And let's tell people the websites again, please.
Yes, Bridgeland.com, thewoodlandshills.com.
Very nice, and hope to talk to you again soon. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, Bill.
If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Brand new homes. How about a David Weekley home? We're going to talk with Kenneth Brown. He is the lead sales consultant in Woodland Hills, right here north of Houston, Texas, and it's called the Imagination Series that he is a part of. Kenneth, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Bill.
Here you are. Everybody, when they get a home, I know after living in a home that was built in the 90s, next home I want brand new. That's what you're doing.
Absolutely. Brand new David Weekley home just north of Houston in the Woodlands Hills.
Brand new homes are beautiful, but also David Weekley, and let's tell people a little bit of an overview. You're not just in the Houston area, David Weekley, that is, but you're also around the United States. Give us a word on that.
Absolutely. We're David Weekley Homes. We're the largest privately owned builder in the United States. We're in 20 different markets across the United States, and our goal is to build dreams and enhance lives of our customers.
20 different markets. And now your market is Woodland Hills, north of Houston. Let's tell people a little bit about that location for those listening that have not been there out of state or even here in the Houston area. We may not have been up to Woodland Hills. Let's tell people what that is and what it looks like.
Sure. We're just north of Houston, just north of the Woodlands. So Howard Hughes developed the area out here just north of the Woodlands in Willis, Texas. You know, the path of development is coming this way. Conroe has just been voted one of the fastest growing cities in the United States. So we're very lucky to be part of the community out here and have Howard Hughes as our developer.
And when you say it, the market as it's moving north beyond Conroe, beyond the Woodlands. It's moving in every direction in an incredible way. It's very interesting to be in real estate, and you probably think this too, at this point in time where the growth in this Houston area is exploding in every direction, and certainly yours.
Absolutely. We have a long-standing relationship with Howard Hughes for several years. We love working with them as a developer, and we're out here in the Woodlands Hills. We're also in Bridgeland, selling a 35, 42, and 50 and 60-foot home site product out there, along with a 55-foot patio and a 45-foot Imagination Series out here in the Woodlands Hills.
And when we think about Woodland Hills, when was the first house, let's say, sold there, or when was the development ready to go for people to buy homes there? How long ago?
It's been a couple of years now, so it's a world-class development. So you come out this way, take a look at all of the amenities that we have, world-class amenities. We've got a huge clubhouse, state-of-the-art gym, a pool, splash pad. We've even got a lazy river. It's an amazing development.
Yeah, that's interesting. My son last weekend or so took the family to a hotel somewhere around San Antonio, and that was one of the things they were bragging about. Hey, the kids are going to be able to enjoy the lazy river here. If you live in Woodland Hills, you can enjoy that lazy river just by being a resident, it sounds like.
Absolutely, every day.
That sounds good. I'm going to get a raft and maybe take a trial run if you'll allow me there, Kenneth.
Yeah.
But as far as sales sound like they're doing very well up there. Give us an idea of what's going on up there as far as how brisk it really is.
It really is brisk. The 45-foot Imagination Series, we've been open for a couple of months now. We've already got 10 sales. I was fortunate enough to sell all the inventory that we have out here right now, but we are in the process of building 6 brand new inventories out here, and we've got about 13 home sites left in the section that I'm in.
And the actual address, as far as the city, it's Willis, Texas. Is that correct?
It is Willis, Texas.
That sounds awesome. What are the price points up there, Kenneth?
My best valued home starts at $226 and goes up to $262, and then our 55-foot patio series starts around $295 and goes up to about $340.
So, how many square feet are these homes in those price points, roughly?
Roughly 1588 to about 3,200 square feet.
That sounds great. And now I haven't been there, but I'm picturing trees and some natural beauty up there that we might not have right here, real close to Houston.
Absolutely. So, I mean, we call it the Woodlands Hills for a reason. So we do have a lot of trees. There's miles and miles of walking trails all through the trees. It's a master plan community, so you can actually take those walking trails right to the schools.
Also, we've talked about on this show already the Fall Giving Campaign, and you're involved with the Howard Hughes Corporation as far as the Fall Giving Campaign. Give us an idea of what inspired your company to be a part of this Fall Giving, which is all through the month of September.
All through the month of September. So David Weekley Homes, we're very big on giving back to the community. So whenever Howard Hughes came up with this Fall Giving Campaign, we were 100% on board with it. So the whole month of September, starting September 1st, the Howard Hughes Corporation donate $500 to one of the buyers' charities, and David Weekley will match that up to $2,500.
So that is a super thing, helping people and helping the community, which is not a rarity in the real estate world. We know, especially here in Houston, the real estate community is always willing to help some of the great causes, right?
Exactly.
I want to go to the word where you call it the Imagination Series. How did it get that name, these homes that you're selling?
Well, the Imagination Series is whenever you walk into a home and you can imagine all the design selections and design collections that you can choose. Is we have a staff of 7 licensed designers that work for David Weekley, and they've come up with some design collections that are unbelievably beautiful. So a buyer, whenever they come into an Imagination Series home, can choose their floor plan, choose the exterior selections of their home, and choose one of the design collections that we have for the homes, and make the process a little bit easier and faster.
And as I mentioned, my home was built, like many people listening out there have homes that are built in a variety of decades. Mine happened to be built in the 90s, and we know homes in the middle of Houston might be in the 60s, 70s, even beyond. But each era of home building had its own things that were popular. Give us an idea, first of all, when people, and I sound like you've been in the new home business for a while, but when people walk into a new home there at Woodlands Hills, what is the thing that they're looking for that they may not have been looking for 5 years ago? But what are the things that they say, hey, Kenneth, man, we want this in a home? Or, wow, look at what you have. That's exactly, What are the trends you're seeing there?
Well, one of the main trends is an open, really light and bright floor plan. So what David Weekley's done with our designs is we've really opened up the floor plans, really big, huge island kitchens for bar stools. And one of the main reasons, Houston gets pretty hot. So one of the great things about David Weekley Homes is we are an environments for living diamond level builder. What that means to the homeowner is we build all of the exterior of our homes in 2x6 construction instead of 2x4s. So you're going to get a thicker wall, more insulation. It's going to be a stronger, thicker, more insulated, and more energy efficient home.
So right there, that extra space with those boards is affording you a better barrier to the heat.
Absolutely.
Give us an idea of some of the other energy efficient features that are part of a new David Weekley home.
Well, we have the radiant barrier in all of our homes. We do the poly seal around all the exterior, and the seal that we do. We really have a tight envelope to our homes. All of our AC units are high SEER rating AC units. The technology of our homes helps us maintain that. There's also a energy guarantee that we have for 3 years that we guarantee the energy usage for your home.
Well, I've never heard of that. That sounds good. How does that work? An energy guarantee?
So every room in the home is guaranteed to be at least 3 degrees in the center of the home. So your home is maintained at the desired temperature.
So that, like a lot of older homes, they have certain spots of the homes that are a little hotter, a little cooler. You're not getting the right balance of the temperature, whether it's winter or summer, it sounds like.
Right, and you mentioned balance, and that's a good point. Is
yes.
To balance out the flow of your home, is all the bedrooms have what we call jump ducts to balance out. So there's a jump duct between a bedroom and a living space or a hallway to balance out that pressure for your AC system, so it flows better throughout your home.
Well, I don't know what other people are thinking, but right now I'm thinking I need a new home, a brand new energy-efficient home. We're talking with Kenneth Brown. He is the lead sales consultant with David Weekley Homes up there in Woodland Hills. And Kenneth, before we close out this segment, what else would you like people to know?
Well, just to come out to one of the Howard Hughes developments, see a David Weekley home. Like I said, that path of development is really coming north. We're just north of the Woodlands. I live down there, and it takes me about 16 minutes to get from here down to, say, the Woodlands Mall area. So come out to check out a new home, world-class amenities. We talked about the clubhouse and the lazy river. It really is a world-class development, and David Weekley is a world-class builder.
And if you see a guy show up with an inner tube wanting to find out about your homes, that will be me. Let's tell people how I'll be the only guy showing up with his own inner tube. Kenneth, let's tell people how they can reach out to you.
Yeah, please go to davidweekleyhomes.com. Click on Houston. That'll show all of our developments around Houston. If you'd like to reach me, my cell phone number is 832-655-4999.
There you go. Kenneth Brown right up there in Willis, Texas, 832-655-4999. Give him a call. Thank you, Kenneth, for being on the show.
Thank you, Bill.
Let's talk to Carole Brady. She's the executive director of Homemade Houston right here in Houston. Carole, welcome to the show.
Hey, Bill. Thanks for having me. I appreciate that.
Well, let's tell people, in case they haven't heard of Home Aid, that's AID Houston, let's tell people about your organization.
So Homemade Houston is, we're one of the charity of choices for the Greater Houston Builders Association. The wonderful thing about that is that we are able to connect builders with projects for homeless care agencies. So when Boys and Girls Country out in Hockley needs a new cottage built to serve more children who have aged out of foster care, they contact us. And it might be something as large as one of their cottages, or it could be as small as putting the playground equipment out at the House of Tiny Treasures for Search, an organization that works with homeless kiddos while their parents are trying to get back on their feet. So we help connect and put together builders and trades within the area with very well-deserving nonprofits who really need a break on getting some work done on their facilities.
Well, it also sounds like you're giving them options in different ways to help, because you are tuned in, it sounds like, to the needs of the people you're helping.
We are, and it's amazing how this city, as big as it is amazing how wonderfully these nonprofits work together. They spread the word, they tell each other, what their needs are, but they also come to us and say, this is what we're looking for. We need a kitchen, we need a transitional housing unit. And we are lucky enough to be in a position where we can help make that miracle happen for any one of those nonprofits.
That is super awesome. And the organization, again, is Home Aid, Home and then AID. Carole, also, as far as helping, it's a big job, and we know here in Houston, certainly in the real estate community with builders, even realtors, it's such a giving part of our economy right here in Houston. So it is great to see that the builders are helping in such an incredible way. Also, you're involved with the Howard Hughes Corporation. We've had them as our guests, several of the people from the company as our guests on this show. Give us an idea of how you're involved with the Howard Hughes Corporation.
So you're right. When you talk about just the generosity of the builders, the real estate agents, the trades that are out here, it's amazing. And Howard Hughes really kind of sets the bar pretty high. They have been involved with Home Aid Houston for years. I believe there's several on our board of directors, on the Greater Houston Builders Association Board of Directors. They have been instrumental in helping us, Home Aid Houston, achieve some of the dreams that we are able to do. So when they came to us this year, and talked about doing this event for Bridgeland and for Woodland Hills, we were not surprised, but so honored that they chose us as one of the charities for this project. But they've been at the forefront of sponsoring golf tournaments and golfing in those golf tournaments and being part of our Project Playhouse and our Halo Luncheon. So they have been ongoing supporters of Home Aid since the beginning. And
I will say, let's tell people the website as we go forth here.
Yes, so it's www.homeaidhouston.org, and that's all one word, homeaidhouston.org.
Also, tell us how it feels. I mean, many of us have, not work at companies that are for-profit companies. Nothing wrong with that. But as you're involved in a nonprofit company that's doing tremendous work, just give us a feel for some of how you're helping and how the lives are affected of the people you're helping. But also tell us what it feels like from your end to be helping in the way and the satisfaction that you get and the satisfaction that the recipients of the help get?
That's a great question. I have to tell you, I kind of consider myself having one of the best gigs in town. This is such a wonderful event when you see a nonprofit, and I'll use one that we're in the middle of building with right now. So Family Promise of Lake Houston is up in the Humble area, and they serve homeless families with children trying to get back on their feet through self-sufficiency. So they came to us and said, we need to build a brand new life skills center, a place where adults can get their GEDs and educational and work training, do their budgeting classes and parenting classes, and really kind of this overall way of healing a family to get them back on their feet. We went, absolutely, let's do it. They had already bought the land. Now we're getting ready to watch them begin the build. And one of the families came up to me and said, I just graduated from this program. And she said, I feel so lucky to see this come to fruition. This has been their dream for years. And I'm going to come back as a graduate of this program and be a mentor for moms and families that come in after this building is built. And I thought, that's an amazing testimony to know that they know that this building is more than just a building. It's actually a way to self-sufficiency. It's the road to self-sufficiency. And because we got to help them save almost 50% of what it would normally cost them to build it it's an incredible feeling. You just know that you are changing the lives of those individuals who are involved from the very beginning. My first trip up to Boys and Girls Country, I was taking a tour and a little girl walked up to me and she said, do you want to see my room? And I said, I would love to see your room. She said, well, you should. You helped build it. Oh. And I said, I can't wait to see your room. Yeah.
So
that's the kind of
heartwarming. I mean, you could feel the heartwarming. And the other thing that comes to mind as you're describing this, and we're thinking about helping others in our world, and when people are young, teenagers, college, at any age, we think of this idea of we want to be successful. And success, sometimes the light goes on to successful, how we could do more for ourselves. But success is being a blessing and a help to others. That's also a definition of success that sometimes I think gets overshadowed when we think about portfolios and all these things that we have. But success is being helpful in other people's lives, and that you can't put a number on.
You really can't. And lifting somebody up that way is a success. And I have to tell you, our area has got some of the most generous builders and trades I have ever seen. And they're so quiet about it. They never brag about all the good work that they're doing in the community. And I think a lot of people don't realize just how unbelievably generous they really are.
We are talking with Carole Brady with Home Aid Houston. Also, Carole, I don't know, I'm on the internet right now as we're talking, and I see an article here. I don't know how current it is, but I hope you don't mind. I want to read this little part because I think this kind of goes hand in hand with what you're doing and adds just one more dimension of how awesome you are. Carole, and it says, Carole lives in Kingwood, Texas with her dog, Isla, who works 2 days a week as a therapy dog for the homeless children in the Family Promise Network.
Yeah, I
Wow.
have to tell you, she loves her kids. She's missed them during COVID. She's missed going down to work with them.
Well, paint a picture of Isla just for a second, if you would.
So it's actually pronounced Isla, but that's
Isla. Okay.
It's so she is a Belgian Malinois Basenji mix, and she is a rescue pup from Bark. I got her right before Harvey, and she just had this immediate ability with kiddos, and so we decided to start bringing her down to the shelter, and we got her trained so that she could work with the kiddos. And it turned out to be an absolute blessing for both. But yeah, she's a sweet girl. She's about 3 years old now. So
well, we know certainly everybody, but especially people in the real estate community, realtors, and everybody seems to, in between breaks on the show, we end up talking about each other's dogs. So a lot of realtors are helping dogs, have multiple dogs. But I'm picturing this dog is also very satisfied when it sees the effect that it has. And a therapy dog, I could just see him at work. That has to be so gratifying.
It really is. It really is.
Well, Carole Brady, let's tell people how they can learn more and they can reach out to your organization.
All right. Well, thank you. So the website, as we mentioned before, www.homeaidhouston.org, has a number of ways to reach out to us. Our direct line, or my direct line, is 281-664-1436. You can always call me. We have an outreach committee. We have groups that go out and help folks and nonprofits all throughout the year. We have our giving campaign coming up for Thanksgiving, where we put together Thanksgiving baskets for 3 to 5 of our home aid agencies that we serve. So we take those to them for their clients, and that's our way of giving back to them to help out. But yeah, we have golf tournament coming up right now, and we have our Halo virtual luncheon that will be October 30th. Our golf tournament is October 8th. We kind of moved everything into the fall, obviously, like a lot of nonprofits. This has been a challenging yet an insightful year. As strange as things are, we've really learned how well our nonprofit as well as our builders can adapt to the changing times. And so because of that, we're able to do a lot of our events in the fall, which we're really grateful to do. So
Sounds great. The website again is homeaid, AID, Houston.org. She is Carole Brady, the Executive Director of Home Aid. And Carole, one more time, the phone number is?
281-664-1436.
Awesome. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, Bill, for having me. I really appreciate it.
And give your dog a little pet on the head if you would.
Will do.
All righty.
In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Not sure if your insurance addresses the risks facing your business? Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. StewartInsurance.com. That's StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Real Estate Matters would not be possible without our partner Stewart Insurance. With a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers, Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risks. Here he is with Stewart Insurance, John Bramlett.
Hi, Bill. How are you today?
Doing great. So, John, here we are. The wonderful insurance segment that people all over Houston and even beyond wait for every week.
Well, I know that people all across the city of Houston, across the U.S., have put 5 p.m. Central Time on their calendar to tune in to KPRC 950 a.m. to hear Real Estate Matters with Bill Knapik, but especially to our time together talking insurance.
At least we hope so. We could have wishful thinking, no doubt about it, John, but every show you bring forth something, at least a couple things that help us think about our insurance needs and also to be properly insured. What do you have today?
We've spent some time over the last few weeks, couple of months, talking off and on about the different elements within a plan that an insurance broker or an individual should take a look at. I thought today we might step back a little bit and when a insurance broker or real estate or realtor is looking to consider an insurance advisor for their firm, just a few points that they might want to take into consideration in making that decision.
That is a good point. What should we look for?
Well, I've got 3 points that I'd like to share with our listeners today. The first one is the real estate insurance firm that you're considering, are they a full service brokerage? Can they support your firm and your agent's needs on the business insurance side? So can they help with your errors and omissions? Can they write a cyber liability policy, help you with workers' compensation, general liabilities policy, a business owner's policy, or potentially a business auto policy? Can they help you on that end? And then can they support the individual needs of a broker or of one of the agents or one of their clients? So if you have a need or a client has a need for homeowners insurance, can they help out there? Do they have the capability of writing a flood policy or wind policy, help with your auto insurance, your renter's insurance, motorcycle, et cetera? So are they a full-service broker? Can they help you both on the business insurance side as well as the individual insurance side? The second point I would suggest they consider is it a captive or independent agency? So is it a captive or independent agency? So a captive agency works with one insurance company and they provide the products and services from that one insurance company. An independent agency has the ability to select plan options from a variety of insurance partners. So there's a better chance that the coverage you receive will be tailored for your firm's or the individual's specific needs. And finally, is the agent or agency's focus on real estate? Is their mission to be the insurance resource for real estate? Do they live and breathe your business as a real estate broker, real estate agent, or realtor? I think those are 3 good questions to keep in mind as you're evaluating your insurance advisor and your insurance partner.
Those are tremendous questions, and I like it that it's simple. There's 3. Quick review of those 3 again, John, please.
So is your insurance broker or the broker that you're considering a full service brokerage? Are they a captive or an independent agent? And does the agency have a focus specifically on real estate?
Well put. And if we think of those things, we can put the equal mark or the equal sign and say that can equal being properly insured. Those things are so important. That's awesome, John.
Well, it really is, and that it's not a one size fits all, and just as one home is not appropriate for one individual, and one closing process is not appropriate for all transactions, and one realtor is not appropriate for all home buyers or sellers. An insurance partner is not, or an insurance partner, an insurance plan is not one size fits all. And if you need a broker and an insurance advisor that can help you navigate those waters, just like you need a title agent, a title office to help you navigate those waters, and a good realtor to help you navigate those waters.
Every once in a while I pay close attention to what's being said, and other times I don't, but I paid very close attention to what you said, and I think the listeners may have too. What you said is the two words, insurance partner. And I'll tell you what, until we started doing this show, which is quite a few years now, I just looked at, my insurance agent. Yeah, my insurance up for renewal. I looked at insurance in a different way, and when we think of these two terms, properly insured, and having the people we're working with on our insurance to be properly insured as our insurance partner, I think things are going to be much better.
Well, we do too, and that's where we strive, is to make sure that our clients are properly insured. And as we've said many times before, that doesn't mean that you have the most expensive or the least expensive coverage. What it means is you have the right coverage for you, that you've accepted the amount of burden that you're comfortable with, and you're placing the amount of burden on the insurance company that you're comfortable with. And that's the bottom line of being properly insured. And
if someone wants to reach out to Stewart Insurance, what should they do?
We have a couple of ways to learn about us in general. You can always visit us at stewartinsurance.com. You can call us at 866-798-2827. That's 866-798-2827, or shoot us an email, stewartinsurance@stewart.com. That's stewartinsurance@stewart.com.
Sounds like you said 866-798-2827.
I believe I did say 866-798-2827.
And wherever you're listening in the United States, you can call Stewart Insurance at 866-798-2827. Thank you, John, for being on the show once again, and thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. If you'd like to hear this show again or other past shows, Stewart.com/Houston. That's Stewart.com/Houston. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week, and thank you, Mr. Bramlett.
Always a pleasure, Bill.
If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.